Hello there, welcome back. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about a few things that have come out and a few things that are about to come out. September's looking to be a busy month in the drone industry. First of all, early on, DJI released the OSMO mobile. It's a new version of the OSMO that allows you to use your smartphone rather than the DJI X series of cameras like the X3 or X5. I'm really excited about this actually. So you can put your iPhone on it. It'll take a phone up to about iPhone 6 Plus or iPhone 7 Plus as we are now in size. So it uses your phone's camera, your phone's audio rather than the DJI one. Really looks quite a cool product this. I'm looking forward to it. It's got some great features like the active track which you've got on the P4, so it will actually track a person if you click on their face. It's got capture time lapse, so it'll do video time lapses whilst moving. It's got a whole host of other features I think are really quite cool. So I'm going to hopefully get one of these fairly soon and do a video about it. This video we're going to talk about two new drones that are coming this month in September. We'll start with the GoPro Karma. We've known about this for about a year. GoPro made a lot of noise saying, hey, we're going to enter the drone industry. So they've released a couple of teaser videos over time, and we're now heading towards when it's going to be released. As GoPro made a lot of noise about that, they actually have given everybody else a bit of time to catch up. So it appears DJI have also come up with something to counteract GoPro. We'll talk about the GoPro first. The Karma, we've known a little bit about it for some time, in the sense of we know it's going to be coming. A couple of weeks ago some images appeared. This was the first one, which appears to be the GoPro drone with a Hero 4 camera mounted on the front. We can see the gimbal, which you've got on the side and the top. Standard motors and standard propellers. It looks nothing special, nothing unusual as such. It looks like a typical quad. You got the feet, the camera, the GoPro. A couple of weeks later, the website released a mess up in Italy, and it actually listed the drone under the buy section, only for a very short period of time, but it did do it, I believe. And we then got another picture. Again, it's quite fuzzy because it's been blown up massively, but we've got the drone there. Again, a similar look. We can see that it's a long body with the gimbal at the front, the camera, the traditional type props. It also gives us a few other hints of a GoPro Hero 5 and a stabilization, again like an OSMO type device. So GoPro have got some products on the horizon this month. Another image leaked of this, which is the controller, we believe, for the aircraft. It's like a black rubberized, you can see it says GoPro down there. It's got the home button, it's got start stop. It appears to have a built-in screen. So they've gone down that route with a built-in screen and controller. I wouldn't be surprised if it's waterproof or water resistant or splash proof. As for specs, we have no idea. The camera will be fairly easy to guess because obviously if it's using a Hero 4, we know where we're at with that. No one knows much about the Hero 5 apart from it's probably going to be still 4K 60 frames a second, maybe, if we're lucky. I highly doubt we'll be up to 8K yet. I'd be shocked if we had got that far. So this is what's going to be coming from GoPro. They're going to be holding a media event in the middle of the month to release this. We don't have a lot of other information other than really that picture right now. From the looks of it, there's nothing jumping off the page to say, ooh, great, this looks amazing. It'd be interesting to see what features they include. That's what this will be all about. It'll be all about the features, basically. Now, moving on to DJI. Obviously, as I said, they've been given a lot of time to know about this. So it appears they are coming up with something to counteract the GoPro. And it's going to be called the Mavic. Now, a couple of images started circulating on the internet a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, of a battery which has, unlike anything else we've used in a DJI product. Then a few more images appeared, and then this image appeared on SBDJI. It appears to be a small aircraft. We actually have some pictures of it. It's unlike anything we've seen before from DJI or a few others, really. There's always been a lot of huff and puff around the drones that you know, on Kickstarter and things like that, folding, flipping, all of this stuff. It's very few have come to real world exist. This obviously looks to be the product DJI intend to release. We don't know how early it is in the stage. It may be very early. This could be it. What we have is a small drone which appears to have folding arms. So you've got the front arms here, which are pivoted here and are folded back into the chassis either side, with folding propellers on the top. The rear arms appear to be folded in underneath and are currently inverted, which is quite interesting. You've got a smart battery, as you can see from the top there, with the traditional DJI lights, and you've got what appears to be a ball or a half ball at the front, which we assume is the gimbal or part of the gimbal. Looking at these images, we can get a bit of a gauge of size. You can see the battery comes to about 2/3 of the way down, the prop's about halfway. From the top we can see again the battery line is about there, 2/3 of the way down, so we've got a bit of an idea. There's another picture here of it from sort of side on front, which gives us a bit more detail. We've now got 2 lumps either side and the camera at the bottom. I suspect these 2 lumps are either optical cameras like you've got on the Phantom 4, or they are going to be sensors like you've got underneath the Phantom 4 and Phantom 3, the vision positioning sensors for a form of avoidance. We've seen other manufacturers do that. Personally, I think they're going to be cameras just like the P4, or a version of that. There appears to be the camera and the gimbal here in this like clear globe. I'm really not sure what that's all about, whether this is just a cover or whether the camera is actually in this globe. I have seen that done in like the CCTV and industry and stuff, but I'm not convinced it's great in a drone. You get a lot of light reflection and stuff like that, so I can only think this is a storage cover. That's all I can personally think it is. Moving down, the aircraft is upside down, and this reveals quite a bit more information. We can now see that the rear legs are actually pivoted right here. So whereas the front arms fold out like that, the back arms appear to flip from the bottom outwards, and it's actually on an angle, so it would flip it out to back out to like having a quad shape again. So the front arms would flip out and like that, so they'd go from there to there, whereas the back arms seem to flip that way and flip the right way up. So I don't think the back legs are inverted like a lot of people were suggesting. It appears that they would flip that way and that way. So it's a very interesting design, not something we've seen before. Moving back over to the camera, again we can see this globe. It also looks very different to anything we've seen before. It doesn't look like anything else we've seen. Possibly single axis, probably 2 axis if I was a betting man, with image stabilization. Camera quality, I would expect it to be 4K or 1080p. I'm guessing they'd go 4K. They may go 4K with 1080p image stabilized. Again, there's been no details released on this, thus purely just speculation on my part. Another interesting thing I spotted is you can see here there are 2 dots here and here on the underneath. Now it's not clear to show what they are, but I'm guessing they're a form of sensors like you've got on the bottom of the P3 and the P4, the optical sensors for the VPS to give positioning. I'm guessing it's that kind of thing basically. Moving on down, we have some pictures of the batteries that were leaked out. Now what we do know, it is a 3S battery. It's 3.8 amp, 3830 milliamp hour, so it's a fair size battery. That's it from the side. As we can see, the moulding comes down. We know the battery now clicks into the aircraft, but it's actually part of the side of the aircraft as well, of the body. Again, the upside down from the side. This is a very interesting picture because it's the battery on top of a Phantom 3 battery. Now I haven't got a Phantom 3 battery here, but I got a Phantom 4 battery, and they're very similar in length, a little shorter the Phantom 4 pack is. But we know the battery on the aircraft is about 2/3 of the way along it. So from this we can gauge roughly the aircraft's going to be about that long. About 12, probably I'd say 10, 12 inches, 12 inches perhaps, about a foot long. So it's quite a small aircraft in the sense of it's quite a long aircraft. It's going to be quite big with the arms folded out, but I'm guessing it's sort of, say, 8 to 12 inches long. That would be the area I'm saying it's in. We now have a few more pictures of the battery open inside. Nothing unusual here. Typical DJI Smart battery. You've got your smart board, which contains your FETs for controlling power, your resistors for measuring current. You've then got your balance port input. You've got your row of resistors along here, which is actually to do with your balancing of the cells, and then you've got the smart charging circuit up this side. So a typical DJI Smart battery. Nothing unusual there. Talking about what we know, we don't know any more than that, really. From a pure speculation point of view, I would expect DJI to fully leverage the technology they have shown us in the last couple of years, especially with like the Inspire 1, the Phantom 3 and the Phantom 4. I think it's probably got that object cameras on the front, so it may have object avoidance, active track, tap fly. I would expect DJI to come out of the stable at full speed on this kind of product. Obviously, they know GoPro are coming. They're going to want to make sure that they are the #1 in the market. As for control system, we have no idea. There's no images of controllers or nothing. I would expect DJI to use Wi-Fi on a product like this. It's a small follow me type drone, an action drone for following you when you're skateboarding, you know, you're surfing maybe, you're skiing. So it's an up close and personal type drone. I would expect it to use Wi-Fi. Range isn't going to be something this thing is primarily designed for. I suspect they'll use a former controller. I don't think they'd go fully over to the app-based control like on your smartphone as of yet. I don't think DJI would go down that road. I could be completely wrong, mind. As for the features like active track and stuff, it would be really nice to also see a small device for tracking like Unique have on the H. I always said I'd like to see like a Pebble, a small thing that you could put on your person which picks up GPS. It has a barometer and it feeds this information back to the aircraft to give you accurate positioning. That's it. So the DJI have announced that there's going to be a event, I think it is at the end of September, about the 27th of September. GoPro is about the middle of September, so we'll know a bit more about that soon. Again, they both look quite interesting products. The DJI looks very different to anything they've done before. The GoPro at this point is certainly not lighting any torches in me belly. I'm not really thinking, wow, I gotta have one of these. It looks like a typical quad. That thing I'm certainly going to be very, very interested in, just looking at it. And we'll know a bit more as soon as they announce it. Thank you very much for watching.